You didn't choose this life, but the life chose you. And once it does, it never lets go. This is every rank inside one of the most powerful criminal organizations on Earth, and you're going to live through all of them. Level 1, the Halcon, the lookout, the nobody. You're 15 years old. You live in a neighborhood where the streets have rules nobody wrote down, but everyone follows. A man you've seen your whole life walks up to you. He doesn't threaten you. He doesn't have to. He just asks one question. You want to make 500 pesos a day just for standing on a corner? You say yes. Your job is simple. You stand outside a tire shop on Calle Reforma. You watch. If you see a police truck, a dark green Suburban, you call a number. One ring. Hang up. That's it. You don't ask what happens after that call. You don't want to know. The first day, nothing happens. The second day, nothing happens. By the end of the week, you've made more money than your mother makes in a month at the factory. You tell yourself it's temporary. You tell yourself you're just watching. But they're watching you too. They always watch before they invite. Level 2, the Soldado Raso, the foot soldier, the errand boy. 3 months pass. A different man approaches you now. Older, calmer, wearing clean sneakers and a gold chain that catches the sun. He says you've been reliable. He says there's more work. Your new job, carry a backpack from one house to another. You don't open the backpack. You cross 2 neighborhoods, walk into a house that smells like bleach and cigarettes, hand it to a man sitting at a plastic table, and leave. That's it. $200 per run. You do 4 runs a week. Your friends are still in school. You buy new shoes. You buy your mother a microwave. She asks where the money comes from. You say construction work. She doesn't ask again. But at night, you lie awake wondering what was in the backpack. You already know. You just haven't admitted it to yourself yet.
You're 17 now. They hand you a gun for the first time. Not dramatically, not with a speech. A man simply places it on a table in front of you and says, "Learn it." It's a Glock 19. You learn to disassemble it and rebuild it in the dark. You go to a dried riverbed outside the city 3 times a week. You shoot at bottles, then cans, then paper targets with silhouettes on them. The man training you never raises his voice. He corrects your grip once. He corrects your breathing twice. After the 3rd week, he just nods. That nod means everything. You're not asked to use the gun yet, but you understand that every skill they teach you is a debt, and debts here aren't paid with money. Level 4, El Halcón Mayor, the coordinator, eyes across the city. You're 19. You have 6 lookouts working under you now. 6 teenagers standing on 6 corners, calling one number, your number. You are the one who decides what information matters. You are the one who calls up the chain. You have a burner phone that you swap every 10 days. You have a second one for emergencies. You've been given a car, nothing flashy, a gray 2009 Nissan Suru, because flashy gets you noticed, and noticed gets you killed. You start to understand the geography of power, which police commander is paid, which one isn't, which neighborhood belongs to which plaza, which roads are safe on which days. Information is currency. You are becoming valuable. But something else is happening too. You've started to see things. A body left outside a bakery before sunrise. A man dragged into a van 2 blocks from your house. You don't react. You've trained yourself not to. That terrifies you more than the violence itself.
Level 5, El Cobrador, the tax collector, the fear made real. You're 21. Every business on 3 streets pays a weekly fee. The taqueria on the corner, the pharmacy, the mechanic, even the old woman who sells tamales from a cart. Your job is to collect. You bring one other person with you. You don't explain what happens if they don't pay. You don't need to. Everyone knows what happens. Most people are afraid of you. Some hate you. A few, the ones who've been here long enough, just look tired. One day, a shop owner named Don Aurelio doesn't have the full amount. He's 67 years old. He has a photo of his grandchildren taped to the cash register. You look at the photo. You look at him. You take what he has. You tell him to have the rest by Thursday. You walk out. You sit in the car for a long moment. You don't feel angry. You don't feel powerful. You feel hollow. But Thursday comes and you go back, because this is your job now.
Level 6. El Plaza Jefe. The local boss. Your own territory. You were 24. You run a plaza. A specific zone. 4 neighborhoods. 2 main roads. 1 border crossing point. You have 40 people under you. Lookouts, collectors, enforcers, drivers. You have a house with a wall around it, 2 Rottweilers, and a generator for blackouts. You make between $30,000 and $80,000 US a month. The money doesn't feel real anymore. It's just a number. But the problems are very real. A rival group has been pushing into your territory from the south. 2 of your lookouts disappeared last week. You haven't told the people above you yet. You can't show weakness. You call a meeting in a concrete warehouse on the edge of town. 20 of your men stand in a circle under bare light bulbs. You don't raise your voice. You lay out the situation calmly. You assign 3 teams. You assign surveillance. You assign consequences. After the meeting, a 19-year-old, a boy who reminds you of yourself, asks if he can be part of the response team. He's eager. He wants to prove himself. You look at him for a moment. You say yes. You go home and can't sleep.
Level 7. El Regional. The regional commander. Power without peace. You're 27. You now oversee 7 plazas. 7 plaza chiefs report to you. You don't live in the city you grew up in anymore. You live in a house in a quiet suburb that looks completely normal from the outside. The neighbors think you're an import-export. You have a wife, a son who just turned 2. Your son doesn't know what his father does. You have decided he never will. But the higher you rise, the more visible you become. And visibility is a death sentence in this world. You travel with 2 vehicles minimum. You change your route every single day. You eat at different restaurants. You trust maybe 4 people in the world. Maybe. One of the plaza chiefs under you has been skimming money. You know because the numbers don't match. You've known for 3 weeks. You've been deciding what to do because the plaza chief's brother is someone important. And this is the moment you realize that above a certain level, every decision you make has consequences you cannot fully predict. You are powerful. You are also trapped.
Nivel 8. La traición. The betrayal. The message. You're 29. The man above you, the one who controls the whole corridor, who you've spoken to maybe 12 times in your life, sends you a message. Not directly, through a chain of 3 intermediaries. The message says your name has come up in a federal investigation. The message says you need to disappear for a while. You start to move your family, but 48 hours later, 2 of your drivers vanish. Then one of your plaza chiefs stops answering his phone. You begin to understand what disappear for a while actually means. It doesn't mean go into hiding. It means you're being cleaned up. You were useful. Now you're a liability. This is how it works. You saw it happen to others. You told yourself you were different. You were smarter. You were more careful. Everyone says that. You call the one number you swore you'd never call unless it was the end. It rings, and rings, and rings.
Level 9, La Frontera. The run, the last gamble. You move alone now. No convoy, no escorts, no security detail. Just you, a bag with $200,000 in cash, and a set of documents with someone else's name. You're trying to reach the border, not to cross into a better life, to disappear into one. You drive through Sonora at 3 in the morning, desert on both sides, no headlights behind you. That should be reassuring. It isn't. You think about your son. You think about Don Aurelio and his 400 pesos. You think about the 15-year-old on the corner who said yes to 500 pesos a day. You think about every step that felt like a choice, every step that wasn't. The phone on the passenger seat buzzes. Unknown number. You don't answer. It buzzes again. You pick it up. There's no voice on the other end, just the sound of your son's laugh. A recording. Then, silence. You pull over on the side of the road. In the dark, in the desert, at 29 years old, you finally break.
Level 10. El Ciclo. The truth. You don't make it across. Maybe you do. Maybe you disappear into a city in another country with a new name and a quiet job and 40 years of nightmares. Maybe they find you. Maybe you find them first. It doesn't matter which ending finds you, because right now, back in that neighborhood, on that corner, a man is walking up to a 15-year-old kid, and he's asking one question. You want to make 500 pesos a day just for standing on a corner? And that kid is going to say yes, because he's hungry, because he's invisible, because no one showed him another way out. The cartel doesn't run on brutality alone. It runs on poverty, boredom, and the desperate need to matter. And until that changes, the levels keep going. The cycle doesn't break. It just finds a new name, a new face, and starts again.